What's the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. So, coming out of the bye week, which did us a lot of favors in terms of gaining some steam in the playoff race, conversations internally around the New York Jets and trying to improve this offense, a good portion of that has to be centered around the passing game attack and Zach Wilson, how to make that much more effective, not only in terms of getting up and down the field, but of course in the red zone as well. And a lot of us have been asking for another weapon within the offense. I've been one of the few that have been mentioning that we have some in-house options that aren't being, optimized, I guess for lack of better words, within this offense that could make huge changes for us. And I think there's none better to start this conversation around than my favorite hood Viking in Tyler Conklin. He came in as a underrated I don't know if I want to say star, but definitely an underrated tight end in the league, right? He didn't get a whole lot of starting opportunities during his time with the Minnesota Vikings, but when he did, you've seen what kind of force of nature that he could be. And oddly enough, he's only really improved during his time with the New York Jets here. Ron Middleton has really came in and quietly crafted a strong tight end one within this NFL league, looking like one of the best options in 2023 definitely speaks to that. You take a look at what he's done so far. He has 0 drops this year, and that's on 20 catches, right? So you're talking about him ranking 4th in the NFL as a whole. Or as I at least should say when it pertains to the tight end unit. Strong contested catch percentage this year. Again, he only has 20 receptions, so 5 of those have been marked as contested. He's came down with 4 of those 5 in 2023. And, when you think about it, even going back to as early as last year, right? 2022, a lot of us were ready to start kind of writing Tyler Conklin off. You had you're still seeing strong route running progress from Tyler Conklin, right? We all tabbed him as being the best pure pass catcher out of the tight ends that we've been able to assemble. But the hands were very shaky, right? We've seen a very uncharacteristic performance when it came to him dropping very easy catchable balls, and then of course him not having a strong presence in terms of those contested catches as well. And he's gone right in and he's turned those around in 2023. It's early, only 6 games in, but it's great to see the tremendous strides that we've seen him make and returning to being an elite pass catcher in the tight end unit. And you'd have to imagine as well, a little bit more of an effective role from Zach Wilson earlier on would have bumped all of these numbers up, but we'll kind of dive into that in a little bit. So, you take a look at Next Gen Stats. They're a group that I love to kind of see what's going on with. I think they do a pretty good job of capturing who's truly standing out at positions, and whether that be something as simple as speed or it is something a little bit more intricate. They do a great job. So Next Gen Stats actually has a metric they call catch rate over expected. Basically, are you positively or negatively catching more passes than you would have expected to, or less catches than you would have expected to? And I don't know all of the particulars around how they predict who's going to have what amount of catches, but for what it's worth, Conklin ranks second best again when it comes to the tight ends. There was a minimum 20 targets on this, so I think there's 25 or so qualified tight ends, but that is huge. That in and of itself lets you know from an efficiency standpoint, Tyler Conklin is handling business. When the opportunities come his way, he's making the most out of them. So, he's ranking in the top 10, to be honest, in a ton of areas across the board. And it doesn't matter if you want to look at PFF. It doesn't matter if you want to look at Pro Football Reference or Next Gen Stats. He's basically at the top in a lot of those, even if you want to take out 1 or 2 of the big plays like what we saw against Denver for Tyler Conklin. He's up there with some of the elites. You're talking Travis Kelce, you're talking the George Kittles of the world, David Njoku and the breakout type season that he's having, the Ingrams of the world. He's really doing it all in a variety of areas, which is excellent to see, again, so early in the season. So, you take a look at his catch rate, 74.1%. That ranks him 9th in the NFL. He's caught 2.8 more balls to kind of go back to that catch rate over expected. He's caught 2.8 more balls originally predicted. That ranks basically that just means let's say we're talking about him only having 20 targets. The system predicts he'll only catch 12. He ends up catching, in this case, the plus 2.8 would be 14.8 catches. So either way, I say all that to say he's been a monster when it comes to efficiency, as well as just being available to make things look easy for the offense when things have come his way. And by the way, the plus 2.8 more balls he's caught ranks him third in the NFL. Excuse me. And it's not just a matter of him having strong hands, him being in great opportunities, him just having big plays on his resume. That hasn't been it. He's given us the whole package. You take a look at his route running ability, kind of that I touched on before, and he really does move like a wide receiver out there at the tight end spot, which is why he needs to be featured a lot more in this offense, because he creates a matchup nightmare for the linebackers and the safeties. You're either too big for one or the other, or you're quicker than one or the other. And in this case, the shiftiness that he shows in route running that he doesn't bring to the yards after catch aspect is something that should be a huge plus for us, especially when you talk about getting in the red zone, because he seems to be able to get out of a telephone booth very quickly, which contributes to a lot of the success that we're seeing here. So, speaking of yards after catch, now this is one of the areas where we figured we'd have a dynamic duo, right? You had Tyler Conklin, the pure pass catcher, the best route runner in the tight end group, and then we were going to have CJ Uzomah, who's supposed to be the yards after catch beast. We've actually seen Tyler Conklin excel in that role this year as well, and it hasn't been anything flashy, right? We haven't seen him. It's weird because he has wiggle when you see him doing his route running. When you see him going through running his routes, but when it comes to trying to make defenders miss and stuff, he doesn't really care to show the agility there. He rather run through you and make you make a business decision, I guess, for lack of better words here. So right now, 5.2 yards after catch for him. That does rank him fifth. His yards after catch over expected ranks him fourth. And again, this can't be overstated enough. This was an area that he's been largely ineffective in terms of wow plays and all that kind of stuff you would generally expect with the yards after catch. But this is an offense that's made for it. So to see him being this highly effective within this position, again, it only helps us out. When you think about Garrett Wilson, let's talk about the elite talent that's on the team, right? You think about Garrett Wilson, you think about Breece Hall. Tyler Conklin needs to be in that top tier group for the Jets when it comes to top weapons the offense should be going through. If Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall aren't getting schemed up touches, or they're just not getting their lion's share of targets, Tyler Conklin should realistically be that second or third option in the offense that's directly behind Garrett Wilson. He's ranking only 16th in targets right now, so that only makes him he's only averaging 4.5 targets per game, which is crazy. And again, he has made the most of all of these opportunities, but it's crazy how much more productive you imagine him being if you just gave him 2 more targets per game. Realistically, there'll be a little pictograph or something here for you guys, but Garrett Wilson's obviously dominating. I think he's just shy under 10 targets per game. Tyler Conklin is next on that list, but again, he realistically should be receiving probably about 7, 8 to 9 targets per game, especially as a very underrated weapon within this offense. A lot of people aren't expecting us to really funnel the game through the tight ends either, and there's a lot you can do since he's not limited really in any capacity. So you think about easy ways to get him some of those targets. Our offense has been very ineffective so far. That's been largely due to Randall Cobb, Dalvin Cook, CJ Uzomah, Mecole Hardman. One of those problems have already been solved with Mecole Hardman being traded, but between those 4 guys, you basically have an additional 5.5 targets right there that you can redistribute. Now, that's not a true number because you're obviously not going to drop all of their, snaps per game to 0 or the targets that they would normally see within a game. But realistically, you could say that there's at least another target or 2 between those 4 guys that you can add up. And again, right now, top 3 weapons in this Jets offense are going to be Garrett Wilson, I wanted to say Dalvin Cook. That would have been crazy. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Tyler Conklin. Get Breece Hall implemented more into the running game. I've seen something crazy like Michael Carter and Dalvin Cook actually have more targets than Breece Hall, which is insane right now. But basically, I sum it all up to say, moving forward, Tyler Conklin needs to be a strong presence within this New York Jets passing attack. And by the way, even if we didn't want to add any targets to him, we only ranked 28th in passing targets right now. So if you expected any kind of bump in seeing Zach Wilson throw a little bit more, maybe not. We know Breece Hall is going to see a lot of touches on the ground. But if we do anything to, make that a league average ranking and we get to 16th, 18th, whatever the case is, that bodes well for seeing some of these improvements. But I think it'll start there. Seeing Tyler Conklin actually get a few more balls thrown his way should open up things for everybody, right? Garrett Wilson will have to see less coverage drawn to him in terms of double coverage, having the safety over the top, because now you have this strong option on the interior that can beat you in between the numbers. Conklin can beat you outside the numbers. He's effective on essentially all routes. So that would be my immediate answer when it comes to in-house options. Of course, there's still some other things we're going to play around with. The idea of activating Jason Brownlee, of course, bumping up Jeremy Rucker's snaps, decreasing the CJs, again, phasing Dalvin Cook out of this offense. A lot of stuff to be done. So this Giants game will be particularly interesting to see what kind of immediate fixes this coaching staff has put into place. But let me know what you guys think here, especially about Tyler Conklin. If he stays on the track that we're seeing right now, he can actually go down as the top 5 tight end this season, which is phenomenal for us. But again, waiting to see what you guys comment, and I'll catch you again. Peace.